Hey, what's up, and welcome to the How We Get Fit show.
Yeah.
This is a show where we interview fit people to help you get fit too. I'm Kalani.
And I'm Shanna.
And in this episode, we have
Jenny Pivonka.
Go get her. See, I'm a go getter. If you's a go getter, why don't you go?
She is a level 3 emergency room nurse. She's a co-initiator of the STAR Initiative, a program to assess for and provide resources to victims of human trafficking. She's a group fitness instructor, certified in Les Mills Body Pump and Casey Ho's Pop Pilates. She's an avid runner, a wife to a major fitness buff, and mom to 3 little kids, 10-year-old Anya and adorable 8-year-old boy-girl twins, Nikolai and Natalia. So, one thing though, Jen, is not on your bio is that you were a varsity cheerleader.
That we're trying to cut that one out.
You forgot to mention it, and we need to add that on there.
So Shanna will probably be taking over this conversation a little bit because Jenny and Shanna go back a long
Kindergarten.
way.
Kindergarten.
And I'm inspired already from just hearing the bio.
I know. And that's not even everything. That's not even everything.
It's not even everything.
It's just like snippets.
And I know we're definitely going to get into a lot of inspiring things. And that's the goal of this, Jenny. We have you here.
You guys are
because
sweet.
You have an amazing story and we want to share it. And so we can inspire our listeners out there.
Yeah.
So,
Well, congrats you guys on this podcast. This is
Thank you.
amazing.
We are so excited to have you on here and pick your brain
I know.
and hear your story.
Right. Yeah. So as long as we've known you and Shanna's known you a lot longer, you've been an active person. And so can you tell us, take us through it? When did that start? Why did you
was
start?
that instilled in you as a child? Was your family active growing up?
Well, apparently me and my sister would do somersaults in the living room and jump on the couch, and everything was a balance beam, a trampoline. So my mom at a really early age put us in gymnastics because she was like, well, they're going to do somersaults and they're going to use, the edge of the couch as a balance beam. They should learn how to, properly do it and fall and, things like that. So we did gymnastics at an early age, and it was kind of the foundation for just being active and moving our bodies. And we both loved it so much. We also did basically every sport.
Really?
In summers we would
what sports?
We would do tennis at the Kaneohe District Park, and the swimming lessons and we would look at the brochure, and this was back in the day where you'd stand in line I think Saturday morning to get your spot.
Jazzercise.
So, everything. They had everything.
Yep.
And so we were given the opportunity to basically try every sport.
Wow.
And our parents just had kind of an unspoken rule, when you start a sport, you finish it out, finish the season, or if you're on a team, you be there for the team, whether or not you end up liking the sport. And if you ended up not loving that sport, like soccer or whatever it was, you could switch to a different sport. But there was never gaps where me and my sister weren't playing sports or we weren't doing something active, dance. And so that just kind of
cool.
Yeah, it was really nice. And, now that I'm a mom, the same thing for my kids, you're in sports, because my kids are way crazier than me and my sister. And so it just, I never really questioned, it was just, you're active. It wasn't would you want to do sports? They were just there, just like school. You go to school and that's just how it is. And we loved, both my sister and I just loved being active and, doing whatever we could. I consider myself a social athlete. I definitely was more who's going to be there than what, what do we do? Who's on the team? Soccer team. And so, it just kind of, turned into us choosing gymnastics, both of us choosing competitive gymnastics. And our gym team was our family. We would practice right after school from 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. every night. sometimes like I think there was Saturday morning practice during competition season, and it was just such a big part of our lives.
I
Like, our
didn't
close
know that.
friends.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hence the cheerleading, right? That was like an easy transition to get into cheerleading.
Yeah, it was a super easy transition. And I
And
remember
probably lots of sports.
there was a small period of time where I think I was like the main tumbler on the cheerleading team at Castle.
I do recall this.
And
Yes.
it was always kind of funny because I was like definitely the tall, I'm 5'10", so I'm like definitely the tall one. And then people that didn't know me and didn't know I had a gymnastics background, I would be like at an assembly and I'd break out like a roundoff backhand through that tuck.
I remember seeing
I would hear people like, oh, how's that Howley girl? Like, what is she doing? And it was kind of funny. Like, it really came in handy, like having that gymnastics background.
As a foundation,
Totally. And I was able to like remember choreography and I was flexible. So that really helped.
Oh.
And then that actually transitioned to me teaching group fitness because in a way, group fitness is kind of like being a cheerleader. I mean, like your group's like biggest support, biggest, cheerleader. I would even like, I got in trouble one time for being like, come on girls. And it was like a class that was like co-ed. And my group fitness manager was like, I love your enthusiasm, but maybe change it to like, good job members or good job crew. Like,
that's so funny.
So it really had a good impact on me. And I just feel so blessed that my parents were like so supportive and always allowing us to do sports. Because now as a mother, I realize it takes a lot of work to have kids in sports and a lot of time financially and just like investing in them in that way is so great. I mean, it's such a blessing for your child to grow up in that
builder.
way.
I feel like kids in sports, I feel like they're very confident individuals.
Yeah.
And I that's one thing I was talking to Kalani about is that you and Chris always include your children in, in being active. That's just something that you have instilled in them too. And now they love it. It's second nature to them. Yeah. It's not like, oh, I got to go running with mom. It's like, oh, this is what me and mom do. This is fun, And I think that's so important to teach that to your children, something that we are endeavoring to do.
Yes. We're trying to get our older one into gymnastics as well because he's jumping off of the couches and doing flips on the bed and stuff already.
Yeah.
So good.
So as soon as the gymnastics opens again, we're gonna put them in there. Yeah.
It's a good foundation because it's like flexibility, strength, agility. Yeah. So when I actually coached gymnastics in high school.
Oh, you did that too? What have you not done? This is just ridiculous, Jen.
I remember I taught gym minis, which is 3-year-olds. And one day the other coach, I forget what the ratio was, but the other coach didn't show up. So I had 10 gym minis. And I was like, okay, like running back and forth, like just making sure nobody got hurt. But I remember telling some of the like boy moms, like they'll be able to do football. They'll be able to do basketball like this. Right. They don't need to go into gymnastics. They don't need to like aspire to be a gymnast because that's not really realistic for a lot of people, but they'll be able to do any sport after they have this foundation. And for little kids, there's not a lot of sports up until age 3 that they can reasonably do.
Right.
That's a good outlet for them to not only learn how to fall correctly, like you said, jump correctly.
And the real reason is because I heard George St. Pierre, the UFC fighter, ultimate fighter.
Did you?
I heard he did gymnastics as a kid.
Yeah. So there you go.
So it's like, oh, where do we start with you, Jenny? Because there's like so many places I want to go. And I know this could easily be like a 5-hour podcast, but it's not going to be. But okay. So professional, like as far as like when you started teaching fitness professionally, how did you get into that? And what did you do? Like, what was your first job teaching professionally?
Oh, okay. So it's really funny because, me and one of my friends were taking summer school. And so we would walk after summer school, we would walk and there's a shopping center right next to the high school, and they were building a 24-hour fitness. And so we thought like, oh, that's cool. Like we have a gap between cheer practice and summer school. It was like 3 hours. And so we thought, well, let's get gym memberships. Like, okay, you know, when you're in high school, you're like, that sounds like a good idea. And I remember my dad being like, this is another fad. We're going to pay all this money and sign her up, and then she's never going to go. And it's just going to be like a fleeting thing that she doesn't do. And at the time I was like kind of thinking, well, maybe it is. I don't know. But it turned into, I mean, not to sound cheesy, but like I met my husband at a 24-hour fitness. Wow. I got, you know, my first like real job at 24-hour fitness. And I think it has helped me like definitely with having children and things to know like how to work out and how to eat and, you know, things like that, that I maybe wouldn't, or maybe would have to learn later. And so we would go, you know, we'd go to the gym, and we went, you know, every day. Like we'd have summer school, and then we'd walk over to the gym. And then the funny thing is we would like, you know, in high school, you don't really know better. We would like go to Burger King or go to Subway after. So it kind of undid the whole gym thing, but we're in high school. So we didn't, you know, care.
No.
So we would, and then go to cheer practice. And so it was like, that was just our day. So it kind of just worked out nicely. Like we had something to do. It was probably better than what some of the kids were doing at that shopping center.
Yes, you are correct.
Absolutely.
And then I actually got into, I think I got into group fitness after I had graduated high school. And it was a replacement for cheerleading, because it seems like for the most part in my classes anyway, it's like the same members, like year after year, and they would come to the classes, and they would become friends with each other. And it was almost like a sport where you are on the same team in a sense. And so,
I like that. That's really a cool way to look at it.
Yeah. Like some of them have like parties together. It's like, you know, it's a social setting if you think about it. And for me, it was, I really like being with other people, and I really like working out. So it just worked out perfectly. And then the supervisor would see me in like every class. Like sometimes I wouldn't go out on Friday nights because I wanted to wake up early for the Saturday morning class.
Oh, wow.
And she, I think, mentioned to me like, you should get certified. Like you're here anyway. Like, why don't you teach? And because I have cheerleading and gymnastics, I was never really afraid to be like in front of people.
Right.
Exactly.
So I just kind of went for it. And, you know, I think it's been, my gosh, lots of years. I taught before I had Anya. So
yeah. And share with everyone, like, wasn't it like the day up until you gave birth, you were doing, what were you doing?
With Anya, so Anya's my 10-year-old. With Anya, I was a little more cautious, and I actually wasn't lifting weights at that time. I had just really gotten into running and then like the cardio classes. So I taught a class called Turbo Kickbox.
That was it.
Shalene Johnson.
Yeah.
Shalene Johnson's Turbo Kick. And I loved it. And I taught, probably till the very end. I think my OBGYN just cringed. I probably just stopped mentioning it at appointments. And then with the twins, oh my gosh. So I thought like having twins, like this could be the end of like being in shape. And, you know, you hear all these horror stories, and I didn't know what it was like to have twins. Like a lot of people do. And I remember this one Group X instructor who had 3 boys, and she's like super fit. I remember her telling me weightlifting is a fountain of youth. And I was like, okay, well, let's get in on that. And so I was 7 months pregnant, and I started taking Body Pump, which I don't recommend because they always say like, don't start something. You can continue your exercise program, but don't like start something new you know, when you're 7 months pregnant with twins. But I was like, you know what? It's all good. Like and I'm very in tune with my body.
Right.
And so I actually felt like super safe. Like I knew when to kind of mellow out. And then I knew when, you know, I can push myself. Like, yeah, I'm pregnant and I have 2 babies in my stomach. Or as I tell the kids, it's in your uterus. When people say there's a baby in your belly, it's not that's not factual, but I kind of just felt like
the nurse coming
The
in.
nurse that
I know I always try to teach my kids like anatomically correct things.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I know my body well enough, and I have been physically active for long enough that I'll know if I'm overdoing
your
it.
body won't go into shock if you start saying, well, what
And then
did you do?
certified.
Like, what is that? What was it called? Body
pump.
Body pump.
What is with a
pump?
barbell. So it's with a barbell. It's an international program. So Les Mill founded this program. And so it's basically music and choreography set to like a barbell. And so like you do a warm up and then you do a squat track, and it's 6 minutes of squats.
Wow.
So your barbell.
I'm sorry.
Wait, I was about to say that sounds fun.
But the fun thing is like there'll be like a Kelly Clarkson song or whatever like the kind of newest song is. And so it doesn't seem like 6 minutes because you're like, oh, you're just, working out to Nicki Minaj and just happen to be squatting. And so use a barbell for half of the class and then use like weights and plyometrics for the other half. And it's like everything in 1 hour, like your full body. You feel amazing. It's great. I think it's great for women because you can get toned and definition and feel strong without like getting bulky, and you're not like grunting and lifting so much and feeling so sore. Like you definitely feel sore, but it's not debilitating like how I would expect.
You can't walk down the stairs.
And it's in that community as well, right?
The community.
That sport, that kind of environment,
totally. Yeah, definitely.
And was that really important to you, having that community? Because some people can just work out at home. That's what they prefer. But for you, you said you're social. Was that important to you to have that community around you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the instructors teaches Zoom, body pump on Zoom right now. And I've taken it and it's awesome. Like she just does it as a labor of love, you know, she doesn't charge or anything. And I'll see it's the same members, like these ladies and gentlemen are consistent, especially the ones that are retired. They're super consistent. And so it's like 50 people on Mondays and Wednesdays on Zoom. Awesome. And I've tried it, and you definitely have more of a community atmosphere than just, opening up YouTube and searching, leg and booty workout. But it it just isn't the same. And being in a gym, other people, and just feeling their energy, it isn't the same. Energy. It's also kind of funny now that I have kids and they're homeschooled. I kind of prefer to just be alone when I work out right now. Definitely if the gyms were open again, I would go. I mean, they are open, but like the group X and, just kind of like a normal workout routine, I would definitely want to do the classes and stuff. But now it's kind of nice. Like I'll go on like a 2-hour run, and it's literally the only time I'm like alone
by yourself.
How? Okay, because when I even hear the word run, I just like barf emoji comes to my mind. Like I just and I'm so enamored and in awe of people like you that can, and Kalani, like you guys just like to run. Like what is your mindset?
It's so
like
fun.
How do you stay
I like
motivated?
Get excited the night before I like set out my clothes. I'm like, yeah. Well, so what I always tell people is, okay, if you can run the first and there's no scientific backing other than the fact that I think it takes 3 miles for your body to fully be warm and in that momentum. So other than that, it's just me, my own experience. I think if you can run 3 miles, you can run 5.
So you're talking about your mindset. So repeat that last part, because you were saying that if you can run 3 miles, then in your mind, you're like, oh, well, I can run 5 miles.
So I think it takes your body 3 miles or so to warm up and to kind of get in the mode of running, the momentum. And then once you hit 3 miles, I feel like doing another 2 isn't that much harder. And once you can do 5, like once you can hit the breaking point of like 5, I feel like you can do 10.
Oh my gosh.
And I know it sounds extreme, but I've told people that before, like if you can consistently run 5 miles, just try to do more and more. I mean, you're not going to run 5 one day and then 10 the next, but you can work your way up to it. Add half a mile every week, or you know, whatever your body feels like. And then some days you feel great and you can add, you know, 2 miles. And then the next day you're like, oh, it's too much for me. So it's kind of just listening to your body. And then, you know, I've been running really consistently for, I don't know, 14 years.
Gosh.
For a while. So
Yeah.
I
Jenny,
definitely,
congratulations. For real, really.
Good job.
it's my stress relief.
Is it?
Yes. Well, that's
is.
good. That's really good. What I'm curious about is, because you're so busy, like, how do you fit everything? Like,
You
how
have
do
so many
fit
hats.
everything in?
Yeah.
That you
so
do?
much on your plate.
Like, I think a lot of people, like, they say they don't have time, but it sounds like you're pretty busy, but you're able to fit in.
No, I literally don't have time.
Yeah.
But you make it work.
Yes.
Well, for me, it's definitely a priority and something I enjoy. I don't make time for like cooking or like, you know, we all kind of have our things that we enjoy. Like, I'm happy to like pick up like a ready-made dish from Costco and have the kids eat it for dinner. So for me, fitness is definitely a priority.
Okay.
And so I have learned throughout the years with kids that if I don't work out first thing in the morning, then it might not happen. Like, especially when the kids were little, somebody wakes up with a fever, or somebody wakes up sick, or somebody's in a bad mood. And then you're like, oh, I really can't take them to the gym, or I don't want to ask somebody to watch them. Right. So working out first thing in the morning, I'm kind of doing something for myself, and then I can do everything for everybody else. You know, even being a nurse, it's like, I'm going to give everything I have to my patients and my coworkers. Right. But if I do like some days before work, I'll do like a 2-mile run, like just something to like get fresh air, and, you know, and I feel more energized throughout the day. And it's kind of a selfish thing, but I feel like I'm better as being a nurse. I'm better as being a mom if I kind of do something for myself first thing in the morning. And I really like waking up early.
I was just going to say, do you have to wake up early, like really early? What time do you have to wake up?
Oh gosh, you guys don't want to know. I wake up anywhere between like 3:25 and 4. On work days, sometimes, like if I work a bunch of days in a row, like 2 or 3 days in a row, I'll not run every day. You know, I'll have like, especially if I do 3 days in a row.
Is that 12-hour days?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm leaving the house at a little after 6 and getting home about 8. So those days I don't think I could like be great at like working out and then going to work. But if I'm doing 3 in a row, then maybe like one of those days I'll work out. So I just feel better at work. Yeah. Yeah. So it's all a balancing act. You guys know that. Yeah. It's just finding pockets of time. And that actually came to be when I was breastfeeding the twins. They would wake up at about 3 and I would feed them, change them, put them back to bed. And then Anya would wake up at 6 and I wouldn't really have enough time to fall into a deep sleep. Yeah. So just about when I was like going back to sleep, she would wake up and I just found myself getting so frustrated and I didn't get much sleep. Yeah. So I thought, well, what if I go on a run like 4 a.m.
in between
and then shower, and then she wakes up at 6 and then I'm like, you know,
ready to go,
ready for the day. And then I don't have to work out later. I don't worry about it. Or I don't have to like think about it later. And luckily Chris is super supportive.
That's good. Chris is her husband. Yeah.
We're both very into fitness, and it's, you know, we met at a gym and we've always, you know, worked out together, made time for each other to work out. We kind of made a deal when I was pregnant with Anya, like, let's not let each other go. Like, let's push each other and give each other time. Like, you would never make your spouse feel bad about like eating dinner when the baby's crying. Like, one of you holds a baby, one of you eats, and then you kind of switch. We try to treat fitness that way. Like, okay, I'll work out in the morning, you watch the kids, then I'll come home, take over, and then you can work out. Or when you're done with work, get a workout in. It's okay if you come home later. And just, we both were on the same page with that. So that was really helpful.
That's important.
Yeah. We can implement that.
Yeah.
Start implementing that. That's a good one.
It's like, yeah, babe, go run. I'll see you when you get home. But something, incorporating it where maybe we both do something with the children.
With the children, or I can for her in the evenings or something.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good. And for you out there listening and watching, hey, take some of these tips too.
They're really good tips. And are you a big goal setter? Like, are you a big believer in goal setting?
Yeah, I believe in goals. Over the years, I feel like I'm kind of not as strict on them because, my ultimate goal is to be the very best mom I can be.
Right.
And so I don't want anything to come in the way of that. So if I set myself up for, I used to set these really lofty, half marathon goals, or even I ran the marathon once and I set a really high goal and I was just so bummed out when I didn't. I was a couple minutes off and everybody's like, oh, that's you basically did it. That's fine. But I'm like, no, I need that time. And I just can't, almost became obsessive over it. And then if I look at the big picture, I had a great time training and running, and that's the goal. Just feeling good and having energy and being a good mom and setting a good example. That's my ultimate goal. I definitely have work goals, but for the next few years, they're kind of going to be on hold.
But I like that you're able to be like, hey, these kind of goals used to work for me, but now these goals are what I'm focusing on. And you're not still stuck. It has to be this goal where I do this and this, but it's no, right now I'm a mom, a very full-time mom. And my children are my goal, being the best mom I can be. I love that.
Yeah. And
you adapted.
Yeah. I love that as well. We know you run a lot. You said you do some other things. What does your current workout look like?
So I just started going back to the gym the other day because the gyms have been, on and off, opened and closed. Right. And I stopped teaching group exercise at the end of last year. So maybe, the beginning of 2020. So in January, I decided that I was going to put a hold on teaching group fitness because I wanted to help in the twins class. I really like volunteering in the twins or in any of my kids' classes and helping with the reading program. And my son was kind of struggling with reading. So I thought I need to put more time and attention into that.
That's awesome.
And I've taught Group X for long enough that I knew I could go back to it, when the timing was better. And so I didn't really lift weights much since January. And so just recently I started reincorporating weights because they really are the fountain of youth. If you want to be fitter and healthier, lifting weights is definitely an important part. Cardio is great too, but I think weightlifting, especially for women, is kind of on the back burner. A lot of women will want to do cardio and they'll focus.
They're hesitant to do weights.
Yeah, they'll focus more on the losing weight or the losing fat instead of the building muscle, which is so important as you age. I guess the nurse in me, with my group fitness class, I would always talk about okay, we're doing overhead presses. So when you get on an airplane, you can lift your heavy bag into the overhead bin.
Right.
Because people are always asking me, maybe because I'm tall, they're always asking me, oh, can you stick this in? And I'm happy to do it, but I don't want my fitness members to not be able to put their overhead bin up. So I'm that's why we're doing overhead presses. It's not so we have these big, massive shoulders. Or what if someday you fall in a ditch or you're in a pool you can't get out of? That's why we do push-ups, so that you have that strength to push yourself up. You don't need to ask for help. You don't need to get stuck somewhere. Have that functional fitness where you can do things, or you can run around with your kids, or you're at a jungle gym. I'm such a nerd, but I think it's so cool when we're at a jungle gym with the kids and I just break out some chin ups and I'm
that's your mom.
No biggie. And everybody's like, oh, Wow. Your
Challenge
mom
all the
can do
kids to
chin-ups?
planks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Big
just,
ball of
you know,
status.
little ways of incorporating fitness and just making it a lifestyle,
Right.
I think is kind of where I'm at in my fitness routine. I don't have any
I love it.
like major goals.
Yeah. No, I love that. So what is your diet like now? Like, or
Oh my gosh.
No, but this is why I love Jenny, because you have a balance, and I love that. So
except when it
you
comes
share.
to desserts. Me and Shanna are always like the number one dessert
Can we eat the
eaters.
dessert first before dinner?
Be like, I'm only here for the dessert.
You gotta follow Jenny on Instagram because she has love songs dedicated to desserts that she's eating.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I have a huge sweet tooth. That's like my downfall. Like I can eat super healthy and I don't really crave like too many like fatty foods, but I crave sugar. And with the pandemic, I found like baking, which I normally don't do, was kind of an escape for the kids and I, like something to look forward to. Like, oh, we can't see our friends, we can't go to the playground, we can't do anything for a little while, but let's bake brownies, you know.
That's sweet.
And it was sweet, but then it kind of turned into like too much of a good thing. I kind of have to rein it back in. But I try to eat a lot of vegetables because I feel like so much better. Have like a green smoothie made of just like green vegetables and not a lot of sugar. That's when I feel my best, when I like indulge in, you know, what was I eating the other day? Carrot cake.
That
You kind of feel junk after, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it tastes good, but then after, if you really think about like, how do I feel and what are my energy levels like? They're usually not great. But if you have a green smoothie, like, yeah, it doesn't taste that good.
What
and
do you
I've
put
had
in it?
some that,
like, what do you put in your smoothie?
I don't make that. I like the suja green. I forget what it's called, but it's like a kale. Spinach is basically everything that you hated as a child,
Right.
like in a bottle. And
yes.
when you
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
They sell like a huge thing at Costco.
Yeah.
And I always threaten my kids with it. They're like, what's for dinner? I'm like, this is what's for dinner. Yeah, I think there's collard greens, spinach, kale, and then there might be like a carrot or an apple just to make it not so horrible.
Make it manageable.
Wow.
But then if you notice like your energy levels and how you feel after you drink that, like you feel amazing. Like it maybe didn't taste that great, but you feel good. Or you have like a really nutrient dense salad, you're going to feel better. The rest of your day is probably going to go better.
Right.
So I try to build my diet around that. Like, okay, how am I going to feel when I have this? Or like at work.
How am I going to feel when I eat? That's a good question to ask. Not just, I'm hungry, do I want this? But how am I going to feel after I decide to eat this?
Should I eat these M&Ms?
Yeah.
The entire
How am I
bag?
going to feel? And of course, there's like, you know, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I'm definitely not going to say how am I going to feel. I'm just going to go for it.
We're going to live with the consequences of our actions.
Yep.
Yes.
Pile on the
And there's
sweets.
times for that too. Like the kids are all born in August. So we had a lot of cake at our house. I even had to throw some away they don't know about. Because the twins, I like vowed to myself when I had twins, like they will each get their own birthday cake. We will sing to each of them individually. Like we're not going to do like so much, you know, already they have so many things. It's like theirs that for their birthday we go out. So we had like, and of course they want like the huge cakes,
Of
right?
course,
So
yeah.
we had 2 huge cakes, and then Anya
Nice.
wanted a tiered unicorn cake.
Oh!
So there was a lot of cake in our house. Finally, I had to throw it away because I was like, this is not good. And you can't really give it to your neighbors. Before I would be like, oh,
exactly. Now it's like,
but
I
now
promise
everybody's a little
I'm healthy here.
skeptical. I know. Our
They'll
hands
just
were washed.
You'll give it to them and then they'll throw it away for you.
Right.
How important is it for you to make sure you're instilling into your children an active lifestyle?
I think they just are growing up seeing us
Mm.
exercise,
Lead by example.
and making it a priority and kind of a reward.
Mm.
Like Chris will say to me, oh, hey, do you think I can go grab a workout? You know, like it's a good thing, not like, oh.
Right.
have to go to the gym today.
Ah,
And the kids,
You guys are in the good mindset. Yeah.
the kids will
really
see
good.
like, oh, every morning they don't know anything different. Like every morning
Right.
mommy goes running, and they played what? They played soccer. Remember the twins played soccer. They were almost 3. And they would literally just stand on the field holding hands. It was
Wow.
really cute. But we're like, go after the ball, go. And Chris
Just
and I
run
were the
together and hold
coaches.
hands.
We're like, go. And they would just like hold hands and like walk
That's
around the
so
field.
cute.
And they've done basketball. And we'll just kind of, the way we approach it is in a positive light and a reward for them. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you get to do this. Or Anya was on the swim team at age 5. And so then the twins aspired to be on the swim team, when they were a little bit older, but about the same age. And I think they just kind of see how we are,
Right.
and then how Anya is. And they all just really love, doing different sports, and they're all very social too. So it's definitely a social event for them.
And they're confident.
Sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for my girls, I grew up being a really tall girl. And so I think there's a lot of insecurities, no matter what size you are. But I think being a tall girl, you kind of tend to be more insecure about your body. You're the tallest one, you're more seen. And so if my girls use their height for, positive things like sports and, your bodies, we always talk to them about nutrition. Like you have like food for fuel, like there's food for fuel and food for fun. So on your birthday, you
I
can
like
have
that.
fun foods, but on a, Thursday night, like you're going to have like food for fuel. How are you going to feel like you're building your body for, now they're all really into swimming. So like when they're prepping for competition or for meets, and, Anya and Nikki were both in the state meet in February. So, weeks in advance, we're like, how do you want your body to perform? So eating Doritos, your body's not going to perform. But
really?
eating fish, like fueled by Doritos, I don't know. I mean, it might work for some people, but
and does that overall, do they get it? Like, does that make sense to them? And are they like, oh yeah?
They do to an extent, but I definitely try really hard not to make food an issue at all.
Right.
Like I will tell them, you probably shouldn't eat another cookie because your tummy's gonna hurt.
Right.
Not you're gonna gain weight, or something, especially at their young ages. And then I try to be really careful with myself, like not talk about like wanting to lose weight or oh, my thighs, this or that, just saying like, oh, I haven't been eating good and I don't feel good because my body feels sluggish. So just being really kind of sensitive about how we talk to them. And then of course, we're definitely not perfect. Like we definitely have junk food, and when we go on vacation, it's kind of a free for all. But just at least teaching them and having it consistent for the most part, where they know they're, expected to eat a certain way and how they feel when they eat that way.
Right. I think that's powerful. I think that's just a balancing, because I mean, going all out, not necessarily healthy, like going like 100% eating and super healthy all the time might not be like healthy, right?
Or realistic.
Yeah.
Like I can't
balancing it.
live like that.
I can't live like that.
Yeah.
I know.
Having that balance, I think, is important. But
I want to know.
Yeah.
What has been your biggest struggle in your fitness journey?
Oh, that's a good one. I guess just staying consistent with being a mother. And I guess I'm consistent enough where before I had kids, I would like set up like a, very kind of like anal retentive. I would set up a workout plan and I would go to these classes this day. And, with kids, it's kind of like if your kid is sick or your kid, whatever happens, like the fitness class, that one class is definitely not as important as like being there for them.
That's true.
So that, and then just kind of finding what works. Like it took me a while to find that I really like lifting weights, like in a group X setting, to music that I like, and then running long distances, like alone, where I can kind of clear my head and de-stress, and just that kind of combination. And then just being okay with, okay, maybe some weeks I'll lift weights 3 times a week, and then the next week maybe I'll just lift weights once, and that's okay, and not to like beat myself up or like stay up till like 10 p.m. like just to do one more workout. I also think sleep is so important because there's like different things we say at 24-Hour Fitness about like it's not just workouts. It's like fueling your body with healthy foods, and then resting, and also mindset. And sleep is almost as important as exercise, because that's when your body, breaks down muscle tissue and it regrows, and your body, all your cells kind of regenerate. So making sure that I'm sleeping and not waking up so early if I didn't get a good night's sleep. So it's just, a total balancing act.
Yeah. So because, sorry, I know I'm asking you so many questions, and I feel like we're going to need a part 2 with this interview, but are you a big scheduler? Like,
yes.
Are you,
oh my gosh.
How important is it to really schedule your days when you got a lot going on? Like, what does your schedule, like, how do you do it? What is a tip you could give the listeners to schedule?
I feel like making a priority list, like, okay, just writing everything you need to do down, and then like, okay, what do I need to do today? Because maybe I won't get everything done, but maybe like my most important things I'll get done, and doing those first. So for me, waking up and running, even if it means I wake up an hour and a half earlier so I can run. And just kind of having your priorities in order. Like, what's your day about? Like the days that I work, that's pretty much all I do. I leave the house at 6, I get home at 8 at night. I don't really have time for other things. So those days, my priority is not working out. But days I'm off, it's the kids, Chris, and working out. And if you think about like, you have 24 hours minus 8, so you have 16 hours, and you work out for 2, you still have 14 hours to do whatever you need to do. And I think sometimes people say, I don't have time, but if you really look at what you're doing and what you're spending your time on,
what's wasting, you have a lot of wasted time maybe,
then you can figure out what really is your priority. Like I said, for me, cooking and making like super elaborate meals, or baking, or decorating certain things, it's just not a priority. Like I totally respect women that have like super nice meals prepared for their husband when they get home. Like that's awesome, and that's their priority for time use. Whereas for me, I try to feed the kids and Chris and myself healthy foods, but it doesn't mean I'm making anything from scratch. And definitely if it's more than 5 ingredients, I don't want the recipe. I'm not interested. Like once they're like, oh, a little bit of this, and then 15 ingredients later, I'm like, you lost me after number 5. I'm done. So just finding, my schedule's busy, but there's people that have a lot more on their plates. I have a lot of help, like Chris and my mom, and other people that I can rely on. And so
that's good.
I don't think I'm busier than a lot of other people. Even when I was in nursing school, I felt so busy and like, oh my gosh, I don't have time for anything. But it was just me I was taking care of, and going to nursing school. And, so everybody has a full busy schedule. It's just, what are you making time for, and what are your priorities?
And I think it helps too, when you do have a full schedule, to have it organized. And then, because I know you're an organized person, because I remember going to your house in high school, and everything was organized and labeled, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know people lived like this. Like in her bathroom, bobby pins,
Shanna,
rubber bands, hair. Like I just remember thinking,
Shanna is an artist, and she at one point wanted to put sand all over her floor.
Oh my gosh.
as her.
I wanted to like instead of carpet, I thought this is a great idea. We'll make it like stands everywhere, and I'll just sleep in the laundry.
That's
My mom was
awesome.
like,
Yeah.
"We're not
doing that."
and I could not
They cut you off.
understand why. No, I'm like, why? She's like, there's gonna be sand everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Anyway,
My kids have ideas like that where they're like, we'll just paint the desk and it'll just be fine.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So funny.
Well, I definitely have to
are-
catch myself sometimes because I'll be like wanting to schedule every last moment. And Chris
Right.
is like, Jen, it's Sunday, like chill out. Like, okay, like what time are we, it'll be like, we're going to the beach and we're going to go to dinner, or something. I'm like, okay, so what time for
That's
the beach?
Me. I know. Are you a planner?
Yeah.
Planners.
Kids, you want to like pack and have the right things.
No, you do. Water bottles. We need this, especially when they're younger. It's like they're going to be hungry. We got to pack a snack. I don't want to be junk food.
Diapers,
what do we have that's healthy? Yeah.
Yep. When I leave the house, I don't have anything in my hands, and Shanna's like, "You're
Did
gonna
you
need
get
a
a
diaper. You're gonna need-"
That's Chris too.
Did you get a wipey? Do you have water?
And
Or
that's
do you have a
usually-
child?
No.
The
I
child.
know. Yeah, it's just so you're a planner by nature.
Oh yeah, I think so. I don't know if I always was. I know I think in high school I like to plan things and I like to have things to look forward to but definitely in nursing school because
Okay,
one
you
of
have
the
to be.
first days, oh my gosh, yes. One of the first days they like write this like graph, well for my class they did like this graph of like, okay, you need to spend so many hours doing clinicals and so many hours studying this and that and volunteering and then they would like break down, okay, and then you have 8 hours to sleep and then you want to spend like 2 hours with family. And it was so overwhelming and scary.
Wow.
I'm still haunted by it.
Wow.
And I thought like, oh my God, I can never do anything because this is going to take all my time. And so I started like really scheduling and really like just making time for the things that were important to me, and everything else like was a luxury. Like, oh, if I get to do this, that would be great. But for right now, I can't,
That's like
That's good.
I guess I can see because I have a lot of nurse friends and I feel like they all turned into organized planners because you kind of just have to get into that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where I struggle is I am a planner, but I don't know if I said it out loud or if it was just in my mind, but I was thinking, I do not make fitness a priority, so it never happens for me. I make a lot of other things a priority. That's at the top of my list. And then I'm always like, well, if fitness happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But
that is definitely one of the big takeaways that I got from you, Jenny, today was that you got to make it a priority. If you can make it a priority, then you're going to fit it into your schedule.
Yeah, it has to mean
that's kind of what I hear. I think we got a lot of great advice today from you.
Is there anything else that you wanted to ask that we didn't get to ask? I'm trying to think before, because I know you got to go, but I'm just like, oh, there's so many questions I want to ask her. Or is there anything more you want to share?
I was going to say, that if you, let's give Susan, she's driving a car right now. She's listening to this podcast and she's on her way to work.
What's up, girl?
Some lady named Susan's going to be like, oh,
yeah.
Jenny knows me.
And she wants to, she's maybe not currently, working out, eating right, but she wants to start. What's some advice that you can give her?
I think writing things down, like I'm a big believer in like physically writing, like not typing or putting it in your phone, but like writing a list of like, what are your goals? And then figuring out how to get there. Okay, I want to lose weight. Well, what kind of weight do you want to lose?
Right.
Do you just want to lose weight? Or do you want to like feel better? Do you want to gain muscle?
Right.
Do you want to improve your eating habits? And then the things that you're unsure about, like there are tons of like YouTube videos, podcasts. There's tons of ways to find out how to do things. And there's probably somebody out there that is already doing it. And so you can follow by their example. Or something that's really great is like hiring a personal trainer. that was like a gift for me from Chris for many occasions, like Christmas, birthdays, because trainers are very expensive. And I don't think it's realistic to tell people like, oh, spend $75 or whatever it is every time you work out, and that's the only way you're going to get fit. But having a trainer and somebody to guide you, especially in the beginning stages, I think is worth every penny. And say you get 3 sessions and it's $200, which is probably a pretty high price, but your spouse probably would spend $200 on you. So if it's if that's your goal, then make that a reality. Don't just say, oh, I wish I was in shape, or people, especially after having the twins, I was able to kind of get back into shape quick, and people say, you're so lucky.
But you're like, well, it wasn't luck.
And it's not even like, I don't even feel like I'm bragging when I say this, because I worked so hard to the point where it was like psychotic. But I was like, okay, I'm not going to let the twins be an excuse. And people would say, you're so lucky. And I'm like, well, if waking up at 3 a.m. and saying no to eating out and saying no to all these other things, if that's lucky, well then yeah, I'm totally lucky. If dragging 3 kids into the kids club so I can take a class. I remember when they were really little, I couldn't bring them to the kids club, so I would hire a babysitter. And because I had twins, they are actually twins too. I would hire 2 babysitters, watch the 3 kids, and I would pay them more than what I made teaching my fitness class. So basically I was losing not a lot of money, but I was losing money every time I taught. But it was so important for me to keep them at home because they were too little for the kids club, and teach that class and get my fitness back, that I made that sacrifice. And so I think when people say, oh, you're lucky, or oh, like, how do you do it, then when you tell them how you do it, they're like, oh, well, maybe that's not for me. And I think anybody can get healthy and fit, and it looks different for everybody what their definition of fit is. For me right now, like, I definitely want to look good because I'm still, we're still really young, Shanna.
We are young. We are so young.
But I want to be able to run around with the kids, and I want my energy levels, and of course I'm like superficial too. I don't want to be on the beach and my kids will call me out on things like, Mom, your legs are so jiggly, or, things like that.
Kids are the best.
Kids
will
honest.
Call you out on everything. So I definitely have that superficial aspect where I want to look good, but
which isn't bad. Right now, that's pretty much all I have going is I want to.
But yeah, just feeling really good about yourself too. And teaching my daughters like, my body's not perfect and I don't eat healthy foods every single meal, but that's okay. For the most part I do, and I'm healthy and fit, and that's what, I would want them to aspire to be like, and more just being happy with your body. And if there are parts of it you're not happy with, fix it, find a way to change it.
That's what I'm hearing is no excuses.
And if you can't fix it, I mean, I'm 5'10", like I'll never be petite, but I own that. Like that's who I am. So I'm strong and I'm tall, and people that are petite and really thin, that's awesome. Like I tell my girls, like everything you are, that's all of your ancestors gave you that. They gifted Anya with red hair, like that's great. And your best friend who's a head shorter, her parents gifted her with being petite, and that's awesome. Like
I love that. I love
good.
that. That's exactly.
There you go, Susan.
Oh yeah, I forgot we were talking to Susan.
A long answer for Susan.
I love that because it's own it, don't make excuses, make priorities, and follow through with it. And then you also were saying find what works for you, find what's important to you.
And the power tip is find someone to buy you personal training.
Susan.
If you can, if not, there's people on YouTube that are providing it for free.
That's true.
And if you don't like one workout video, there's 1,000 others.
Really,
Right.
there really is. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of great stuff.
Thank you
have
guys so
definitely,
much.
You're going to
Yes.
have to come back.
you have definitely inspired, motivated, and equipped our listeners to get fit. And
Yeah,
before we let
maybe
you
next
go,
time I'll bring Anya.
yes,
She can give you the real deal.
yeah, that would be awesome.
Fun.
We also wouldn't mind interviewing your husband.
Yeah,
your buff
he would
husband.
love it.
Your
He's a much more eloquent speaker than I am.
Jen,
You did
for real.
great.
You really did a great job. We've
And-
interviewed all
but
the
before
people,
we let
and
you
you did a
go-
great job.
Before we let you go,
Yes.
we're gonna do the lightning round.
The lightning round, Jenny.
Oh no, what is that?
The lightning round.
So we are going to ask you some questions. Some have to do with fitness, some don't, just for fun. And we want you to answer them as quickly as possible. Normally, nobody answers these questions quickly. I don't know.
gosh.
I think we
Okay.
should stop
I'll
calling
try.
it the lightning
I
round.
know.
I'm very
It's-
competitive. I'll try.
Oh, here we go. Okay, good. And it will be fun to have Chris back and do this with him. But okay,
Yeah.
So I'm going to start question 1, and you can just answer as quickly as you can. Who is your fitness inspiration on social media?
I don't remember her name. It's like Ivana. She's a pole vaulter.
Ooh.
Gosh, I know her face and body. But
Oh,
she's a
I think
pole
I
vaulter.
saw,
Okay.
and she like beat her personal record or some. Is that the
Yeah, I'm
one?
pretty sure it's Ivana.
Ivana.
Anyway, maybe I'll get back to you.
If
on
you're
that
listening, Ivana or Susan. If
Susan,
if you
tell
know, let us know.
Ivana. No, okay.
one. I think I messaged her on Instagram. She
Oh,
hasn't
okay.
gotten back to me. No.
Ivana?
Those
Come on,
influencers.
maybe it's because
Maybe
you don't
that's
know.
not even her name. Anyway, she's a
It's 'cause
pole
you don't know her
vaulter.
name.
Basically, anyone on Instagram that is, I guess, fit for a reason. They're not just like
Mm.
modeling and
Fit
Right.
for a reason.
they're
Ooh, I
functionally
like that.
fit. They're athlete. and things
I like that.
Jen, you're making so many quotes. It should just be like shirts and stuff. That's
Yeah.
good. Okay. Your favorite fitness clothing brand? Like
I really like
activewear.
Lululemon. I like Lululemon, but I
Lululemon.
also really like Sunita. And I was trying to get
Oh.
them to see if they would do an exchange with me.
Ooh.
So maybe if they hear this podcast, Sunita,
Yes.
Go.
it's the
Sunita.
Sisterhood. It's a company in Arizona built by 2 sisters. So I love that. Their
Oh.
clothes are so like affordable and they hold
Ooh.
up. Like I
Oh.
really wear clothes into the ground. I mean, with my
Yeah.
runs and
With your 2-hour runs, I could see that happening.
those hold up. Yeah. Sunita is a good brand. Of course, Lululemon, but
Mhm.
they're pretty pricey. So,
I've never bought a Lululemon yet.
oh,
Lululemon,
So maybe I'm
this is
gonna
a free
look at-
plug. Can you send us some free gear? please?
Lululemon. Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
I'll try
totally.
Sunita though. Okay. So you wake up at, well, now it's like actually 3, but so you wake up 5 a.m. and Chris says, "Hey babe, you got the whole day off. I'll take the kids." What do you decide to do with your day?
Oh my gosh, he does sometimes, and I'm like, no, I want to hang out with them. I
Isn't
guess
it
because
so
I work,
funny?
That's
I
so
don't.
funny.
I'm not with
That's
them
true.
all the time.
So the whole
So,
day
yeah,
before you
I
hung out
would
with them, what would you
I
do
would-
today?
I would definitely work out. Like ideally, I would do like a little weight workout and then go on a run and then shower and like actually get ready for the day, which is rare. My hair is usually wet and I'm usually just in like a different pair of leggings.
That's so funny.
And then no, I would totally want to do something with the kids and Chris.
So family day.
Schedules don't know.
Family day.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
Agreed.
So the next question is, what is your favorite thing to do with your family?
I really like, I mean, we're such a water
Mhm.
oriented family. I love going to the beach. We're like dying to go back to the Aulani. I don't even know. I think it's open, but I don't know.
I think
if
it
we're ready
is.
for that.
Yeah.
Like the water slides. That was like some of our best memories. We took my sister there. We took my mother-in-law there, you know, and just going on those water slides and just, I mean, everything's right there. It's so
Yeah.
fun.
Okay, so a nice trip to Aulani. That would be
I
amazing.
would love that.
I know. So when you're working out, what song comes on that you're just like, that's my song, and you just like pump it up a level?
I love anything Kelly Clarkson, which is so funny because she always
Oh.
talks about breakups, and
That's so fun.
I have been married for so long. I don't see me breaking up anytime soon, but I just feel so
It pumps you
inspired. Like,
up.
since you've been gone, I'm just like, yes, girl. When
That's
I
funny.
can't relate at all, but I just,
That's funny.
Kelly
But you're so
Clarkson.
happy
I like-
for her.
I like those songs too. What's
Yeah,
the song
he
where they
does.
key the side of the car?
Oh, dug my key into the side.
Oh, yeah.
Carry
I like that
under.
song.
Yeah, they're
Carry
very empowering. Women that have been
under-
wronged by men,
Right.
those are the best.
They make the best songs. Okay,
Funny.
you're eating healthy, but you have a cheat day. What is your go-to cheat meal?
Oh my gosh, carrot cake.
Carrot
From
cake.
where? From where? Like homemade or where? Not homemade by you, I
don't
hear,
care.
but
Yeah, I don't care. I just like when it has a lot of the extras, like coconut and like almonds.
I like when there's
Definitely
pineapple in there.
layers.
Oh, the layers with the cream cheese frosting. Mhm. Okay, besides your husband, Chris, who is your favorite Chris? Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, or Chris Evans?
I can't say that I know any of those. I know that there's the Hemsworth brothers, right?
Yes.
But that's
Yes.
all I know. I
Thor.
haven't-
So
Chris
it's
Hemsworth is Thor.
Thor,
I
Captain
haven't watched a
America.
movie in so long.
That is not at the top of her priority
So,
list.
We'll go with husband Chris
We're
then.
gonna go with Chris Pivonka is your favorite Chris.
I don't know any of the others.
What is the workout day that you dread? Or is there none?
I've never done the Cocoa Head stairs, and I have a lot of friends that have done it, and it's literally right behind our house. And I want to do it because a lot of my friends do it, and it looks like such a beautiful view, but I'm really scared.
I've never done it either. Maybe we should do it
Whoa.
together.
We should do it together with
and
Mel.
videotape it. Oh,
Because Mel would not leave us behind.
No,
I'm scared
no.
that like they're gonna take off and be like, Jen's fit and she runs and she can handle it, and they're gonna take off and I'm gonna be like,
I didn't sign up for this. That's like when Shannon took us up Coolio. What is it called?
yeah.
Coolio.
Yeah.
She's like, the horizon is just above, just a little more. And it's like 2 hours
She
later,
did
we're
it.
still going up straight vertical mountainside. I'm like, Shanna, this is not what I was expecting. Anyway, okay, so maybe we can make that happen. That would be fun.
It'll be fun.
Okay. Will you come back on our show with your husband, Chris, and talk more fitness?
Of course.
Awesome.
That'll be fun.
Yes, it'll be really fun to
Yay.
do the couples. And Chris is such a fun guy, so he'll add a fun element to it with all his.
He can tell it like it is. Maybe I'm sugarcoating things.
No,
Hey.
I think you did good.
We all love sugar.
Well, yeah, I
here.
was gonna say we like the
We
sugar
all love
too.
sugar here.
So
So
just- he can be the sugar, you're the spice, and then
and everything nice. But you have done an awesome job. This was a great
It
interview.
really was. It
Thank
really
you guys so much.
And before we let you go, is there any
Where can
social
people
media?
find you? Yeah. People are going to want to look you up and be like, who's this girl that's
Who's
done
this
everything
girl?
under the sun? We want to know. Where can they find
So-
you?
My Instagram name is just my first and last name, Jenny Pivonka. And then I write a blog called Athletic Motherhood. And my goal in that blog is to inspire other mothers or women at any stage of their life to be fit and healthy. And that can look different for everybody.
I love it. You
Awesome.
really, it's a great Instagram. She always is posting great content. I really recommend you go and check her out.
Definitely go check her out.
Yeah.
And we will leave links in the show notes, howwegetfit.com. Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks,
this was a
Jen.
pleasure.
Guys, I
We
hope
had
to
so much
see you
fun.
both really soon.
I know. I'm going to build up confidence to do Cocoa Head with you.
Yeah, let's do it together.
Just
Let's
don't
do it.
leave me behind.
Terrified. I won't. We'll stay together.
We'll do it.
It'll take us several hours, but that's fine. People do it in like 13 minutes. We'll be like, do you mean an hour and 13 minutes?
Yeah.
Yes, I think we need to make that a thing and really
Definitely.
try
Yeah.
to do this.
Yeah.
But thanks,
Well,
Jen.
thank you
We
guys.
can't wait to
I'm
have
so
you back.
excited to hear your podcast. Now I have another thing to listen to when I run.
I'm
There you go.
excited too. I know it's gonna be fun. And thank
Yeah.
you. Please
This has
thank
been
your
fun.
mom.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thanks, you
Thank
guys.
you. We'll see you guys. We'll see you later.
Bye, Jen.
Okay. Bye.
Get her, get her, get her, get her. See, I'ma go get her, get her, get her, get her. If you's a go-getter, why don't you go get it? Go get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. See, I'm a go-getter, get it, get it, get it. If you's a go-getter, why don't you go get it?